everyone, we're Group 2 and we'll be presenting on SD Drive's Distraction Free. SD stands for San Diego and Student Driver. The main goal of our project is to increase the knowledge about the dangers of driving distracted by informing students through presentation the dangerous risks of driving distracted and sharing prevention methods that one could practice to reduce accidents and injuries behind the wheel. Our priority population are student driver ages 16 to 18 in the San Diego Unified School District. We are testing 24 high schools within the district. At the end of the 6-month intervention, we are hoping that students will report that they have not been involved in any accident from distracted driving. At the beginning of our program, we will have a questionnaire for our participating students on their level of knowledge about distracted driving, attitudes towards it, and their current driving behavior. During the intervention, students will be asked through a survey if they were able to recall information from the presentation. Lastly, at the end of the intervention, we will ask students if they practiced distraction-free driving methods and which method was the most effective in helping participants retain information. This evaluation will allow us to compare the result between the comparison and experimental group in order to see if the program really made a difference. The conceptual model that we chose for our program is theory of planned behavior. The impact and health outcome that we plan to measure is the number of student driver driving distracted reduced, an increase of better driving habits, and to increase the practice of safer driving techniques amongst our participants.
For our research design, we will be using a quasi-experimental time series. We'll be conducting lectures and presentations about the dangers of distracted driving and prevention methods for both groups throughout our 6-month program. The experimental group will then receive our mobile app, which is the intervention, while the comparison group will not. The app will act as a notification tool that will help ping facts and information from our lectures on a daily basis, and will also administer a quiz at the end of each week. It will help serve to keep our lecture information fresh in our experimental group's mind. Pre-test and post-test questionnaires will be given to both experimental and comparison groups before and after the program to assess their knowledge and attitudes about distracted driving. We will then determine whether if it was our lectures and presentations that made a difference or if it was the app. For our sampling method, we will be using a non-probability, convenience, homogeneous sampling because our intervention will include high school students ages 16 to 18 who are attending one of the 24 high schools in the San Diego Unified School District and with access to a smart mobile device to download and use our distracted driving app.
As for our independent and dependent variables, they will be measured using questionnaires before the start of the 6-month program and after the completion of the 6-month program. The questionnaires will be given to both the experimental and the comparison groups. Since we are trying to determine whether there is a difference between the individuals in the experimental group and the comparison group after they complete the 6-month program, a chi-square test would be an appropriate form of measurement. It will help us measure the association between the two ordinal data. Based on the type of data we collected, we will be using both a univariate and bivariate analysis. We will use the univariate analysis to measure the percentage of those who downloaded the app that are able to answer the quiz questions correctly each week after they had attended the lectures. This will help us describe the scores and results based off of the experimental group. We will also use the bivariate analysis to measure if there is a difference in using the distraction-free driving app between the individuals in the experimental group and the comparison group after completing the 6-month program.
We recruited 50 students who fit our requirements from each high school in the San Diego Unified School District. This gave us a total of 600 participants in each group at the beginning of the study. However, towards the end of the study, some of our participants either dropped out of the study or deleted the app. The pie chart shows the number of participants at the end of the study. And based on our post-test results, we were able to find that 18.7% of participants from the comparison group that sat in on our lectures but did not have the app were able to explain at least 3 concepts. We also found that 26.8% of participants from the experimental group that had the app and the lectures were able to recall and explain those same 3 concepts. The bar graphs illustrate our pretest and post-test results and show the difference between our experimental and comparison group of how many students were able to answer at least 75% or more questions correctly on the questionnaire. Red is the experimental group and blue is the comparison group. Our findings show that the students who downloaded the app and used it were able to recall more information. Giving only lectures and presentations weren't enough to keep the students up to date with information and on par with distracted driving methods.
Our main goal was to increase knowledge about distracted driving among high school students between the ages of 16 and 18. We were able to do that via the downloaded distraction-free driving app and our lectures and presentations. Although, after calculating and analyzing the collected data, we can conclude that the download and frequent use of a distraction-free driving app was more effective in helping participants retain more information, hence more recollection of information, than just with our lectures and presentations alone. Limitations. Since we used an app to quiz our participants, there is no way to indicate if our participants truly knew the answer beforehand or if they either asked or copied from a friend or looked up the answer online. Also, some participants might have deleted the app from their phone mid-intervention and hence dropped out of the study. Because we asked participants to self-report and self-score their driving abilities and their driving habits using questions with free response and also using the Likert scale, their answers might not have yielded credible data due to social desirability.